Okay, so, there's this whole thing going on X. I guess some people still call it Twitter, where Elon Musk and like a bunch of these MAGA influencers are basically at odds. Uh, and it's kind of wild because it's like the conservatives are suddenly super worried about being censored.
Yeah, it is kind of a flip, isn't it? I mean, for the longest time, all you heard was how these platforms were like totally against conservative voices, shadow banning and messing with the algorithms to like bury their stuff. And now with Elon Musk in charge, I mean, a lot of these people thought he was their guy, right? That he'd fix it. And now they're the ones complaining.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And that's exactly what we're going to try to like really break down in this deep dive. So we found this YouTube transcript. It like goes into some of these recent accusations and stuff. And our goal here isn't to say who's right or wrong or like get all political about it. We just want to like see what actually happened. Like what are they saying? What are the arguments? And kind of get behind the scenes of this whole online fight.
Right, exactly. We just want to understand what the transcript is saying. We're not saying it's true or not true. We just want to look at it and see what it tells us about how these platforms work and how people use them.
Okay, cool. So let's jump in. So the transcript starts with this post from Laura Loomer on X. And she's talking about how she made this post right. And it got a ton of comments, like 121 comments, but then almost all of them, except for like 7, were marked as spam.
Yeah.
So she's basically saying that they were doing this on purpose because the comments were all about the legal stuff with Trump.
Yeah, right off the bat, you notice how she's framing it. She doesn't just say, oh, they marked my comments as spam. She connects it to Trump and the law. So it's like she's implying that they're targeting her because of what she's talking about and not, just doing some automatic spam filter thing.
And then it gets even weirder because this conservative user with a blue check mark, so, they're paying for X premium, they reply to her saying that their comment got flagged as spam too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that definitely adds another layer to it, right? Because now it's not just random people, it's people who are actually paying for the platform. And Loomer even brings that up in the transcript. Like she's questioning why they're marking paying customers as spam. So it makes you think about what they're even using as their criteria for spam at this point.
Exactly. And then the transcript brings up this other account. This person's like a huge MJGA supporter. And they said they specifically subscribe to X Premium to like support Elon Musk, and then they claim that like right after they signed up, their account was like shut down for a whole week and they didn't get any explanation or anything. Yeah. And they're adamant that they weren't posting anything controversial.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? Because now it's not even just spam. It's like full on silencing their account. And they're saying they went through the premium support and everything and got nothing. So it's like this feeling that it's totally random and there's no transparency. And then the user makes this comment about not being part of the club, which I think is really telling. It's like they thought they were on the same team as Elon Musk, but now they're feeling excluded.
Oh, yeah, that club thing. That's a perfect segue because the transcript actually compares this whole situation to that bit George Carlin used to do about the big club. It's like these Mad GA people thought they were in with the elites now that Elon Musk was running things, but maybe they're realizing that they aren't actually part of that inner circle.
It's a really good analogy. It really shows how their perspective won't be changing. These are people who are used to having a lot of influence online, and now they're dealing with the same stuff they used to accuse other people of doing, and that's got to be a tough pill to swallow.
And the source we're looking at, they take a pretty strong stance on this whole thing. They basically say that Elon Musk, as the owner of X, can do whatever he wants. He can censor people. He can manipulate the platform however he sees fit. And they're making this point that the First Amendment, free speech, that only applies to the government, not to private companies like social media platforms.
That's actually a really important point that a lot of people get wrong. Just because these platforms are a big part of how we communicate doesn't mean they have to follow the same rules as the government. They have their own terms of service and they can decide what content they allow, and they don't have to follow the First Amendment. So the source is basically saying that legally Elon Musk is in the clear.
Which is what makes the next part so ironic, because the source points out that all these people complaining about Elon Musk censoring them, they're the same ones who were always going after Jack Dorsey when he was running Twitter, accusing him of the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But they rarely had any real proof. And now they're doing the same thing to Elon Musk.
Yeah, it's like they're applying a completely different standard depending on who's in charge, which is pretty hypocritical if you ask me. The source seems to be implying that these people aren't really concerned about censorship in principle. They're just mad because it's happening to them now.
And the source takes it even further. They start speculating about Elon Musk's motives. Like they're saying he's doing this for his own personal benefit and maybe to help out people like Donald Trump. So their theory is that these users are being like punished for criticizing Musk or like getting on the wrong side of him or his allies.
Right. It's like they're saying this isn't about neutral platform policies. It's about personal grudges and political agendas. But, it's important to remember that this is just speculation. We don't actually know what's going on in Elon Musk's head.
Then the transcript gets into the specifics of what's happening to these users. So they're saying they can't monetize their tweets anymore. They're losing their blue check marks, which now cost money and can affect how many people see your posts. And they're getting shadow banned, which means basically no one sees their stuff anymore.
And that's a big deal for people who depend on these platforms to make money or, build their reputation online. Like not being able to make money from your tweets, that's a direct hit to your income. And losing your blue check mark makes you look less credible. And then shadow banning, it's like you're invisible on the platform. So it's not just a minor annoyance. It's actually really hurting their ability to use the platform.
And then the last thing the source says is that they don't feel bad for these people at all because they were always the ones accusing other people of censorship. So it's like they're saying, you made your bed, now lie in it.
Ouch. Yeah, they're not holding back. It's a pretty brutal take, but I guess they're just pointing out the hypocrisy of the whole thing.
So to sum up what we've talked about, we've got Laura Loomer saying they're mass spam tagging her posts about Trump. Then there's these other users who say they're getting silenced even though they're paying for premium. Then there's the whole big club comparison and the source saying Elon Musk can do whatever he wants. And the irony of these people being censored after they were always accusing everyone else of censorship. And then the speculation about Elon Musk's motives and the real world impact this is having on these users. And finally, the source just straight up saying they don't feel sorry for them at all.
Yep. That's pretty much it. We just wanted to go through the transcript and understand what it's saying, and all the different arguments and perspectives without saying whether we agree or disagree.
Which brings us to the big question for you guys. These social media platforms are such a huge part of our lives now. And there's always this tension between what the platform owners want to do and what the users want to do. So what do you think this whole thing means for the future of online communication? Is this just going to keep happening?
Yeah, it really makes you think about how much power these companies have and how that affects our ability to speak freely online. And it also makes you wonder if people are going to start trusting these platforms less if they think they're being manipulated and censored. It's a really complex issue, and it's something we're all going to have to grapple with as these platforms keep evolving.
No doubt about it. Well, this has definitely given us all a lot to think about, and we hope you'll keep exploring these issues. The whole debate about content moderation, free speech, and what social media is becoming. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.